Hello, everyone. This is author, motivational speaker, and dating coach Matthew C. Horne, and I bring you a video tonight titled Entrepreneurship is an Intoxicating Scent to Beautiful Women. It's brought to you by my books, How to Get Beautiful Women and Everything Else You Want from Life, in addition to How to Be Appealing to Successful Black Men for Black Women. They're both available on my website, www.matthewchorne.com. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and to continue to push with the algorithm. And thank you to everyone who's been interacting with me. I will interact with you back in my comments, and let's keep this thing going. Let's get right to it. Entrepreneurship is an intoxicating scent to beautiful women. And this is something a little bit different. It was just on my heart, and I'm going to share it. And I want to see you men elevate as high as you possibly can with the time that you have here. Every one of us should be in a mindset to maximize ourselves and to elevate so that we're always giving our best version of ourselves to the world and consequently getting the best in return, the best offerings that the world has to offer us by virtue of us giving our best offerings to the world. So it made me think about entrepreneurship and not just the money fixation, but the reality of what it represents. And with entrepreneurship is anchored by courage. And a lot of women, no matter how beautiful she is, she has insecurities. She has certain gaps that she's looking to be filled. And she has a certain desire for a certain type of man if she's going to be able to trust him and pair herself with him for the long haul. And I thought about entrepreneurship because it's a complete representation of sovereignty, meaning that you didn't rely on the world system to get your income and to make your way in the world. You went internal. You took inventory of yourself and the best thing that you had to offer to this world, and you exercised courage to package it and create a company and a business and offerings to people that you can actually get a financial return on the offerings and the gifts and the talents that you have to give to the world. And that's intoxicating because not many people have that level of courage to turn their gifts into something that they can monetize and profit from and offer to the world and get a subsequent return. And that's when it gets intoxicating to beautiful women because they're not meeting many men who have complete sovereignty over their life. And entrepreneurship is a representation of complete sovereignty. With a job, and there's nothing wrong with a job because we all have to make our way in the world. But with a job, that job already has your increases and your elevation in increments. They know the different steps that they're trying to move you to. And there's always a ceiling. There's always a time frame and a ceiling in terms of how you're going to get raises and get more money and elevate throughout a company. But with your gifts and your talents, you're naked out here. It's just you. It's just you and your gifts. And it takes an incredible amount of courage because the world is governed by the matrix. The matrix are the powers that be that want certain segments of the population to be in certain places so that they support the ultimate agenda of the powers that be. That's the matrix, and that's the cornerstone of corporate America. Corporate America is the playground of the matrix. But when you operate outside of the matrix, that means that you trust yourself enough to utilize and identify and forward your gifts and talents and package them into something that is an offering to the world, a company that can be profitable. And that's intoxicating to a woman because you have ultimate leadership of yourself. If you have the courage and the fortitude and the wherewithal and the high perception of yourself to say, I have these gifts and these talents, and I'm not just going to contemplate them. That's what most people do. They know they have certain gifts and talents that are an offering to the world, but most people just contemplate. So when you say, I'm not going to contemplate, I'm going to exercise the courage necessary to offer my gifts to the world. Now you're separated. Now you're seen with the optimal level of courage and leadership within yourself. That's one thing I say in my book, How to Be Appealing to Successful Black Men for Black Women, one thing I say early on in the book, I say every man does not deserve to be followed. But I tell the woman clearly, if this man's presence in your life has elevated your quality of life over time, then that is a man that you should submit to, and that is the man that you should follow. So entrepreneurship is the highest offering that you can give a woman in terms of if she should follow you and submit to your leadership. Because entrepreneurship shows that you've been effectively able to lead yourself at the highest level. You're not leaning on the matrix. You're not leaning on the world system. You're completely leaning on yourself and the highest offerings that you've been given to offer this world. And you had the courage to go to that state office or go online and pay that $150 or $200 to start an LLC, which is a trade name and a tax ID. You had the courage to step out there and start a company and catch up to whatever agenda and name your company has. That takes courage. And that's what beautiful women get caught up in, that type of man's rapture, because he has an undeniable and unusual level of courage. And that's why your scent becomes intoxicating. When you have enough courage to take your gifts and package them and offer them to the world, you don't have to go around telling people what you do. People automatically know that you're different. It's an energy. That level of courage creates an energy that you radiate that lets everyone around you, not just beautiful women, it lets everyone around you know that you're taking a different path and you have a high level of courage. That's what's missing from society. That's what's separating people from taking the leap from the job to the dream. It's just courage. That's all it is. It's audacity and it's courage, and they're one and the same. And so when a woman can see you and see that you have the ultimate level of courage, that you're not afraid to package yourself and offer yourself to the world for profit, for gain, by offering people increase through your gifts and your offerings. When you're that man, you're identifiable amongst the pack. And not everyone is supposed to be a full-time entrepreneur, okay? The world is balanced that way. But I do have a belief that every person has gifts and talents and abilities, and they should at least explore them. Creating a business is not going to take anything away from what you ordinarily do to make your living. But Les Brown says you can make a living or live your making. Your makings are the gifts and talents that you have. That's the universe showing you what your highest makings are. It's showing you your fabric, your blueprint. And that's courageous to identify those things and offer them to the world. And that's why the beautiful woman is intoxicated with your scent, because she knows that you have a level of courage that has allowed you to have sovereignty over your life. A lot of these experiences I talk about in my videos of how women were able to spend this amount of time with me and, time was suspended. It's because I make my own schedule. It's because I do not lean to the matrix or the world for my income. I've gambled on myself. I've taken my lumps. I've learned my lessons. But I kept going in spite of it until I caught my breakthrough. And that's an intoxicating scent. And I can just think about women in the past and women even recently. And I go to the past first. I was maybe 31 and I met a girl that was 23. Everything was cool. There was a level of attraction. We hit it off. We were spending a good amount of time with each other. And things were happening in front of her face that she didn't quite understand because she had never been exposed to it before. And I didn't really talk much. I was a man of action. And that's what that energy that surrounds the entrepreneur is. He's not a talking man, he's a man of action. And so I just remember, one day I had an S500 Benz and the next I had an S550 paid for in cash. Boom, just like that. And I didn't necessarily tell her when I was going to make the move, she just saw it. And she was working a retail job. She was doing very well for herself, one of the leading sales persons in the job. And she didn't have a vehicle. And she went from thinking about financing to looking at how I conducted myself and offered myself to the world and got the rewards. And she saw the fruit of it. She saw what my courage brought me. And she said the words to me. She said, "Oh, I want to do it like you did it. I don't just want to get a car. I just want to go and buy it outright." And it's not something major, but it was significant because she had been exposed to something through my courage, and it sparked something in her. So as an entrepreneur, that level of courage, you're not only going to be identifiable as a desirable man, you're going to spark something, and you're going to help the woman to bypass her insecurities because you're operating in full sovereignty and confidence within yourself. So you're the answer. That's what will really make a woman submit. And that's what will make a woman not look to the right or the left of you and do away with the men in her life that she's not satisfied with, is when she sees a certain level of courage that she can draw from and she can increase. And I can remember not too long ago, I met a woman, and, we didn't know anything about each other. We spent a little bit of time together, and we were having an enjoyable experience. And I found out very quickly that she was delving into entrepreneurship, even though she was working a job. And she would ask me questions. And since I had been there and I had committed myself to entrepreneurship, I was way ahead. And mind you, she was putting all of the right things in place. She was doing things the right way. She had a business coach and she had all this kinds of stuff. But with me, I was I was a representation of raw answers because I was in the space and I was around her on a consistent basis. And so she would tell me things and I would say, "You don't mind if I give my perspective, do you?" And she would say no. And I would tell her things in the moment and I could see her blind spots. And she would say, "I've never considered that before." Stuff that her mentors, her business coaches had never been able to expose her to, since I had been on that road and I had found my way and I was consistently operating in that courageous space. She found immediate value in me. And that made her want to pair herself with me. It was because I was a representation of something that was missing. I activated the dreams and desires that she had to take her from the job to the dream. And that's what I'm trying to explain to you. It's not just a fixation on that transition from the job to the dream. It's a representation of the courage that it takes to make the transition, to explore yourself and explore your gifts and offer them to the world. And it's just courage. And that's why, even I don't want to get, too biblical or anything like that. It says, "Wives, submit yourself to your husbands," because as men, we're leaders. And if we can effectively lead ourselves, then a woman knows that we can lead her. And that's why every man can't go around calling himself a high value man and a man that should be submitted to. No, you don't have to make those proclamations when you are the proclamation. When you've been effectively able to lead yourself, govern yourself, and increase, now the woman knows that you're a safe space that she can land with and that she can trust. And that's what entrepreneurship is. It's a complete representation of the high opinion of everything that you have to offer to this world, and the fearlessness, and your nature to be unafraid. Women love fearless men. It's an intoxicating sin. And I love these coaching calls when you gentlemen are talking about being afraid to approach certain women and getting nervous in this space. But imagine you're in full bloom. You're in full acceptance of yourself to the point that you gamble on yourself and you're fearless enough to offer portions of yourself, your gifts and your talents to the world, and make something of yourself that's completely elevated above the matrix. Imagine how that looks. Imagine how intoxicating of a scent that you're emitting to the world around you and beautiful women. Imagine that. Because there's not many men fitting that criteria and fitting that mold. And so that's what I wanted to bring together tonight. When you really operate in full bloom, and realistically, full bloom is not being afraid to operate within your life's design. We all have a purpose. We all have a design, something that we were sent here to deliver to this world. And it's multifaceted. You're going to discover even more of yourself at different stages, especially if you gave of yourself at different stages. The more you give, the more is revealed to you. The more you have an understanding of what you have to offer if you fearlessly offer the things to the world that you have an awareness of. Your purpose expands. Your gifts and talents, they expand as you give. The more you give, you're emptying it out and you're filling back up with more. A lot of my companies have been started because I gave of myself and I emptied out. And as I emptied out, I was able to identify new needs that the world could use answers to. And that's how all of my companies, after I started my initial company, that's how they grew, is through fearlessness. I gave and then I replenished because I had a higher and better understanding of myself and more that I had to offer to this world. And if you're in a perpetual state of self-awareness and growth and offering and fearlessness, you are an intoxicating man. You're a completely intoxicating man. So the world is just going to be drawn to you. And I know, this is a dating channel, so I can keep it focused. But beautiful women are going to be intoxicated by the scent of your fearlessness and the sovereignty that they can see over your life. When you have means, when you don't have to worry about anything, when you have complete control over your time and how you move, that's not normal. And that's intriguing, and that's ultimately intoxicating because women are not coming into contact with many men like that they can reach out and touch. They're not coming into contact with those men. So you are the intoxicating man at that point. She wants to know more about you. She's intrigued because she healthily wants a piece of you. She wants to see the inner workings of that courage, your thought processes, what you did to make it to the places in your life that she admires. You're intoxicating and you're admirable. And that's just what I want to encourage you all to do. Step into 2025 and fully inhale yourself. Operate in fearlessness. What are your gifts, your talents, and your abilities that you can package for profit? You deserve to have a return when you're giving a maximum offering. And the maximum offering that you can give is your gifts. Package them. Don't be afraid to start a company. It's meaningless money, $150, $200. It's meaningless. You've squandered that 10 and 15 and 100-fold. Gamble on yourself. See what the world has to offer you as you offer the best to the world. And women will smell the intoxicating scent. That's when they'll move differently with you because they're completely intoxicated and they're caught up in the rapture of you being caught up in yourself. And this isn't narcissistic. It's just that you've been dealt a certain hand to offer to the world. And so you fully inhale that hand. You play it. You identify it. You take some time and you become real with yourself in terms of what you have to offer. And don't be afraid to package it. Entrepreneurship is an intoxicating scent to everything around you. The courage to transition from working a job, working your gifts, and eventually the return on working your gifts overwhelms the job, and now you're a full-time entrepreneur. You don't know where this entrepreneur journey is going to take you, but it's to your advantage to explore yourself and see what you have to offer and understand that there's an unlimited ceiling. There's no ceiling on your gifts. They come from a place of eternity. There's no ceiling in eternity. That job, they already have a plan for you until you're 60 or 70. They have a plan for you. But the universe has a plan for you that will completely blow your mind. It doesn't compare to what the world has for you in terms of a trajectory, a job, retirement, all that kind of stuff that comes along with not fully exploring yourself. And, it may take a while for you to break through, but the good thing about the universe is that it gives you signs and markers that you're moving in the right direction. So once you gamble on yourself and you say, hey, I want to try this entrepreneurship thing, you're going to get the signs and markers that you're moving in the right direction. You're going to get increases until you get your breakthrough. And you have to pay attention to your increases because they are a prelude and a predecessor to your breakthroughs. And that's what the world is going to take notice of, is when you truly break through. But you have to give yourself a chance. This is a message tonight. I've been more of a motivational speaker than a dating coach tonight. But hey, it's just what I had to offer. If you gamble on yourself, there's an intoxicating scent inside of you that will be emitted. I promise you. You'll grow, you'll learn, you'll make mistakes, but the universe will uphold you the entire time, and you'll never go under. You'll never go under. And it's a magical experience to get on this journey, but you will see that once you break through, it does not compare to any other experience that you've ever had in your life. Once you really break through with your talents and your gifts and your abilities and your courage and your fearlessness, you'll break through. You'll break through. And you'll never be able to function the same once you've used your gifts and your talents and you've had an accelerated experience in life. Some people will question you, and it doesn't matter. They might not think you're progressing as fast as they think you should, but when you break through, you're going to redeem all of that time, and you're going to supersede anyone's expectations, including your own. It's an intoxicating scent. So be an intoxicating man. Don't be afraid to package your gifts and your talents and to really offer something significant to this world, because the world is waiting on you. You have an answer for the world. That's why you showed up. Explore the depths of the answer that you have to offer to this world. And you won't just intoxicate beautiful women. You'll be an intoxicating force that glides through life, and people will be inspired by you. They'll want a piece of the courage that you have that allowed you to manifest certain things in your life. You'll just be truly an intriguing and an intoxicating man. And so that's all I had to say tonight. Take a risk, take a gamble. A lot of your fears are just based on you not having a full awareness of yourself, because you haven't gambled on yourself and you haven't exercised in full courageousness. Exercise that. Go to those uncomfortable places. Go to those places where you have fear, but you have signs that you're supposed to be there. And the results and the breakthroughs are going to always supersede the fear. As you're going through, you might question yourself. Other people might question you, and it's perfectly fine. As long as you keep moving forward. As long as you press towards whatever mark is inside of you. Whatever's calling your name, the universe is knocking on all of your doors. It's telling you your gifts. It's telling you your talents. People are telling you you're good at certain things. See, the voice of the universe is subtle and it's blatant. It's always communicating with you until you have an awareness and until you pay attention. Your acceleration through life to have the optimal experiences is purely based on your choice. The universe is showing you who you are, but your acceleration is purely based on your choice to believe what you're being shown about yourself and exercise the fearlessness to give a complete and sovereign offering to this world. This has been Matthew C. Horne, author, motivational speaker, and dating coach. Bring you a message tonight, just talking about how entrepreneurship, that fearlessness, it's an intoxicating scent to beautiful women. And not just beautiful women, to the world around you. This has been more motivational than dating tonight, but who cares, man? This is just what was on my heart. Also, explore my book, The Successful Dreamer, How to Unapologetically Live Your Truth. I talk more in depth about this subject matter. And tonight's video has been brought to you by my books, How to Get Beautiful Women and Everything Else You Want from Life, in addition to How to Be Appealing to Successful Black Men for Black Women. They're both available on my website, www.matthewchorne.com. There's an accelerated, a talented, and a fearless man inside of you all. And this channel is really about you optimizing yourself. And this is just another offering from me tonight to help you to operate within that space. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and to continue to help me to get pushed up the algorithm. And thank you to everyone who's been interacting with me. I truly appreciate you all. And everyone who's ordered your books, they're on the way. Don't forget to also, if you want me to speak on a custom topic, make a donation of $50 or more to my PayPal or my Cash App. Leave the subject matter that you would like me to speak on in the note on PayPal or Cash App, or make your donation to PayPal or Cash App and email me at matthewchorne with a more in-depth description of what you would like me to talk about. And if this message has been of value to you tonight, if you know that your thought processes have been elevated as a result of encountering my message, don't forget to drop something in my donation information and continue to help me to grow as I continue to help you to grow and elevate. You can make a donation to my PayPal or my Cash App that's in the video description. And if you're in need of coaching, if you know that my voice resonates with you, and someone like me, Matthew C. Horne, author, motivational speaker, and dating coach, could help you to get the breakthroughs in the dating space and the relationship space that you're looking for, email me at matt@matthewchorne.com. Leave your name, your phone number, and whatever issue that you're facing in the dating space. I'll do an assessment, and I'll immediately get back to you with the terms of the coaching, and we'll move forward, and the coaching will begin immediately. I've enjoyed spending some time with you tonight. This has been a little bit different. Hang in there with me. I hope you got something from it. But just understand, there's an intoxicating man inside of you all. You don't necessarily have to lean on the matrix and its bylaws and its ceilings and its governing way of your life. You can lean on yourself. Take a gamble. You'll be surprised at what comes back. Operate in courage. Take inventory of those gifts and talents and abilities. Understand that they're a solution for people, and they're waiting for you to have the courage to believe in the solutions that you have. It's really that simple. Don't be afraid to start that LLC, and it'll be the first of many, I promise you. I've lived it. Have full courage and belief in yourself. Don't let anyone persuade you otherwise in terms of what you have to offer to this world. Break through that matrix and experience everything that comes with being the optimal man that's offering the most sovereign, elevated, courageous, and optimal versions of himself to the world. I'll see you soon.